Hi, this is a short video on what distributing looks like when you are trying to simplify different expressions. First, the word distribute is talking about multiplication. Distribute means you are going to multiply, but you're going to multiply what's outside parentheses. So in this problem, it's the number 3 to everything inside parentheses. You might hear someone say this is distributing or distribution. You also sometimes hear the words distributive property. They all mean the same thing. They're just talking about this special situation with multiplication. So for example, if I wanted to simplify this expression here by distributing, I already know from past lessons that if I see a number right next to parentheses, it means multiplication. So for this problem, I would want to multiply 3 by 6. 3 times 6 gives me, I'll put it down here, 18. But because those parentheses go around the 6 and that minus 4m, I also need to multiply 3 times negative 4m. When I do that, I know 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, and then I just copy my m there. Those arrows that I'm making help with one of the most common mistakes I see, which is forgetting to multiply everything. A lot of people remember to multiply the 3 and the 6, but they forget about the 4m. So if you do those arrows, it helps you to remember to multiply both terms. Now here I've got 18 minus 12m. Sometimes people want to say that equals 6m because 18 minus 12 is 6, but we have learned we can't do that because 18 is a number and 12m has a variable. Those are not like terms. That's what the last lesson was on. So you cannot combine them. You can't simplify them or subtract them. This right here would be our final answer. So similar to this problem, I have got 2 down here for you to try. Go ahead, pause the video now and try these 2 practice problems. For this first one, I know I want to distribute. I want to multiply the 5 with what's inside parentheses. So 5 times 4 gives me 20. And then I also need to multiply the 5 with the 3x. 5 times 3x would give me 15x. We can do something similar for this second problem here. I see the 6 is outside parentheses, so I want to simplify by distributing 6 with everything inside. So that means I need to do 6 times 2x. That would be 12x. I also need to do 6 multiplied by y. When I see that y, I know from the previous lesson that there's a 1 in front of it. So if it helps, you can think of 6 times 1y. 6 times 1y would still be 6y. And then finally, I need to multiply 6 with that minus 10. 6 times negative 10 gives me negative 60. For both of these problems, there's nothing we can combine. I can't combine a number with an x. I can't combine an x with a y, or either of those with a number. So both of these would be our final answers. They are as simplified as we can make them. There's one other example I want to go over in this video. For all of these examples we've done so far, the 3, 5, 6, all of those were positive numbers we were distributing. The second part of this is what happens if the number outside is negative. And if it's negative, you do the same steps, you just want to be really careful with multiplying that negative sign. So for example, this first one, I need to distribute a negative 3. So I'm doing negative 3 times 5. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And then I also need to multiply negative 3 times negative 2m. When you go to do that, a strategy can be that you distribute the sign first and then the number. So for example, that second step, I might just start by saying, well, I know negative times negative is positive, and 3 times 2m would be 6m. I really want to emphasize here, notice I'm not always copying the same sign. Here it changed because here we had to multiply a negative by a negative to get a positive. So those 2 negative signs when we multiplied became our plus sign. One more time, go ahead, pause the video and try these other 2 problems now. For the second one, you're distributing negative 10 with 3g. That gives you negative 30g. And then negative 10 times 4. I know negative times positive gives me negative, and 10 times 4 is 40. So we get negative 30g minus 40. For this final one, I just see a negative sign, so you can think about it as a negative sign multiplying both of those. Or if you prefer, if you just see a minus sign, you can think of it as a negative 1. So this is really the same thing as negative 1 times y plus 2z. And they both give you the same answer no matter how you think of it. That negative sign times y, or negative 1 times y, gives you negative y. And then that negative sign times 2z, or negative 1 times 2z, gives you negative 2z. Just like the others, a y and a z, I can't combine those, so that would be my final answer. This is a short video explaining what distributing is to help you get ready for today's lesson, which is going to be about simplifying expressions. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!